Good afternoon and welcome to Jump In Let's Play, the first Jump In Let's Play of 2022. Really excited about this one. This is Living Forest, a game that we've been playing a lot of recently and is our current game of the week, at least at the time of the recording. If you want to give this a go, we do have it in the library, so you can come down and play. I'd be happy to go through the rules with you, but we've got this video to discuss the setup, to show you the setup, as well as give you an idea of the gameplay itself. So, Living Forest. This is a deck building game with elements of resource management and tile laying. The objective of the game is threefold. So there are 3 victory conditions we're looking out for, and we can obtain any one of them. Firstly, we have the protective trees. Grow enough different types of trees and you can win the game. In this instance, that means growing 12 different types of trees that are these along the back here. Secondly, we can collect 12 different fires. So that is these symbols here along the bottom here, and you can see we start with 1 in the main board. Over time, you will collect cards that will give you these water symbols, and that will allow you to put out fires in here. You just need to beat the value of any amount of them to be able to claim them. Once you do, each token counts as 1 token towards the 12. Finally, we have the sacred flowers. If you can collect 12 sacred flowers, you awaken the great spirit Sankey, and you can win the game. That appears on these cards here. You'll see it's on here, and it will appear on some of the trees as well. Anytime during an action or a turn when you trigger the winning victory condition, everyone else gets 1 last go within that to be able to get as near to their victory conditions as possible. If there's one person that has the victory condition at the end of the whole game, then they win. If multiple people have victory condition achieved, then players will total up the amount of all victory conditions in terms of their progress so far. So we'll go into a little detail about the setup of the board. So as previously mentioned, we've got our trees along the back here. We gain these trees by using these seed resources. You can see that on a couple of those there. That will allow us to buy a tree up to that amount. You can only buy 1 tree if you decide to use that as one of your 2 actions for your turn. Each tree will give us a different type of resource, and then we place them on here in any fashion that we would like. If we complete certain columns or rows, then we get an extra permanent bonus. If we hit the corners, then those will give us a one-off benefit as well. Below it, we have our public marketplace. So anyone that's played a deck building game will be familiar with this. These are cards that we can add to our deck. When we buy them, they go to our discard pile here. And then when our main deck runs out, everything in the discard pile gets shuffled and then put back here, which then allows us to use these cards. We have 3 different levels. We have 1, 2 and 3. And as you might suspect, the higher up the level, generally the more powerful they are, they'll give us more resources overall. When we take a card from here, whichever level it is, we take the corresponding fire token next to it to add to the pool of fire tokens on the great tree. So this doesn't get refilled automatically, it gets refilled once everyone's had their turn. With the fire tokens, as I said, you can use the water to put them out. And then here we have our own little player tokens. So these each represent one of the victory conditions. Now, to obtain these from other players, all you need to do is overlap them on this board. So on this board, you'll see that there are standing stones around the edge, and we've got our player markers on them. One of the actions will allow you to move, and you will see it on cards like this one here with this little symbol. If you overlap someone, then you get to take one of the chosen tokens. So if you're going after 12 different types of trees, for example, you might want to take this one because that will count as a different type of tree for you. Similarly, you might just want to take this because you're going after the fires. With the fires in the middle, any that aren't put out during the course of the turn are accumulated here. Depending on the amount that is in here, we do a check against all of the players. So all the players would add up any water resources that they have. If the amount of water resources that they have doesn't equal or beat the value combined on all of the tokens, then the players will take wounds, as it were, equal to the number of tokens on the board. So if you had a 2, a 3 and a 4 on here, then that would equal 9. If you had 7 water tokens in your revealed cards, you would lose, but you would then take 3 of these wounds, these Varan cards, which would go to your discard pile. These will basically act as sort of like wounds. They'll gum up the works for you. They'll also have this symbol on it, which we will explain in just a moment. But so they work at a disadvantage for you. And then at the end of the game or end of the turn, once we've done that check, we see what animals have been taken out here, what gaps there are. We then place as many corresponding tokens into the middle as needed, and then refill from the various decks. So that is the setup. Oh, we do have our starting player token, by the way, so that will alternate between the players each turn. As you can see here, we're set up for our 2 players. So we'll jump into the game and then give you an idea of how the turns work. So the very first sort of phase of the turn is to call upon your guardian animals. You do this by drawing cards from your deck. You can draw as many as you like. However, if you draw 3 solitary animals, you have to stop, and you are penalised by losing 1 action. Solitary animals are animals that have this symbol. You can see that one on there, and we might even show you one as we go through. So we start off, we've got 1 water on this animal. We then move here. There we go. So this is our solitary animal. We don't want to see too many of these, and there are ways to counteract these, which we will show you if we get the cards. If not, I'll just show you at the end. So we can get 1 more of these, and then it might be an idea for us to stop. We can push our luck, but if we get the 3rd one, we have to stop and we lose an action. So we turn over. There we go. So you can see our resources building up as we go. Let's turn over another one. Let's go for another. Right, so we're going to stop there. And now the other player will do theirs. Ordinarily, everyone does this phase at the same time, but it's just me here, so we will have to alternate those. So that player starts revealing their cards. Okay, so they're going to stop there, as they don't want to incur a penalty this early on in the game. So now what we do is we take turns on the next phase, where we have our various different actions that we can perform. So we total up all of our resources. So here you can see we've got 5 sun, we've got 2 water, we've got 3 seeds, we've got 2 movement, and -1 to the sacred flower. It's too early for the sacred flowers anyway, so it's not really something that we need to concern ourselves with this early in the game. So we might, for example, decide that we're going to go for an animal. So we're going to take this one here, for example. So this gives us 2 sun and 1 water. This will then go to our discard pile just down there. We then have 1 more action that we can perform. So there's a few things that we can do here. So we've done one of the actions, which is call upon a guardian animal. We could put out the fire. We have 2 water. We have 3 seeds. So we could buy something for 3 seeds. And then we have 2 movement. So we could move our piece 2 along, which gives us various benefits, sort of one-off power there. I think we're going to go for the tree. So let's take one of the trees. Let's go for this one. So this tree here costs 3. So we have 3 in total there. When we put this onto our boards, this will give us a permanent resource of 1 water. So if we just bring our boards back over a little bit, we can put it anywhere we like that's adjacent to another tile. So we're going to go here. If we complete this column now, we're going to get an extra permanent resource from this one. So that's something to aim for. So that's us done. We leave them there for now. We don't get rid of them. We now go to this player. So this player here, they have got 3 sun here and -2. So they've only got 1 sun. So they could buy something if they wanted. The only thing they can buy is this, which looks quite powerful, but does come with the drawback that it is a solitary animal. We've only got 1 water, which means we can't combat anything in the Great Tree board at the moment. We do, however, have 6 seeds there. So we're going to do that. We're going to take this one here. That's going to give us 2 water. So accordingly, we're going to put ours on the board somewhere, which now means that we have 3 water because we've got the 1 water there, we've got 2 from there. Same with this player, they've got 2 water there, 1 there. Their next move, they're going to move... They're going to move just the 1. So they've got 2 movement overall, but they don't have to use it. So they're just going to move the 1. What this is going to do is give them one of those fragment tiles. So this is just going to be a safeguard against the Varren cards if they happen to get one and then draw it in their game. So we are all done there. So we put all of these cards into our discard piles. We now go to the end of turn check. Okay, so in the end of turn check, we get attacked by the flames. So we check our amount of water that we had, which we had 3, they had 3 as well, so we are both fine. Then the Vengeful Spirit Inibi is attacking the Sacred Tree. So to the Sacred Tree we add fire tokens equal to the amount of cards that were taken and to the appropriate level. So there's just 1 here. So 1 comes out, goes into the middle. And then we refill, so arrival of new guardian animals to come and aid us. And then our guardian animals go back to our discard here. We then give the Sacred Tree to the next player. And then the new game turn begins. So again, here we will draw our cards. Okay, let's go 1 more. Okay, we're not looking too bad, are we? Let's draw another one. Let's go for 1 more. There we go. So we've got 1 card left in our deck there. And then this player will do the same. So they will draw. Okay, they're going to stop there. So, because this player has the starting tree, they are the ones that go first. So we double check everything that they've got. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 water. They've got 2 sun. They've got 2 seedlings, and they have 2 lotus petals. So I think what they will do is they will buy this one, just because we get a lot of seeds from it potentially. So that's going to be one of their actions. The other action is they can use the 2 water from there and the 2 water from there to take these 2 tokens, because it adds to 4. That then goes to their victory pile there. So that is their go over. We now move to us. So we've only got 1 sun at the moment from here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 water, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 seedlings. So we will take this one as one of our actions and we will place that there. So that gives us 2 sun. We also get an extra sun from here. So we now have 4 sun in total. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, because we've got the -2 to cancel that one out. So we've got 4 there. So we're going to take this one here, and that will go to our discard pile. So that's all the actions done. So we go to the Great Tree. There are no fires at the Great Tree, which means we don't need to do the check. However, the tree is being attacked, so it gains 2 of these because there were 2 of these cards taken. We don't do the check now because the check is done before this one. So all of our cards go to our discard piles. These new animals are called out, and then we start a new round. So this one will come to me, so we are now the starting player again. So we'll draw cards. So there we go, we've got our 1 card. We don't have any cards in our deck here, so what will happen is these cards will be shuffled up. There we go, and then we will draw from this pile. Okay, so not off to a great start here. Okay, let's go for one more. Okay, so this is actually a good example for us. So we've drawn 3 solitary animals. So this means that we can only take 1 action. So we have to choose which 1 action we're going to perform this turn. So that's going to be some interesting choices there. So onto this player, they will start drawing cards. Right, so they've run out, so they can shuffle their deck. You only shuffle your deck and put it back to the main deck if you intend to take cards from it. If you don't, it gets left there. So they can take 1 more. Let's go for 1 more there. So that's a good place to stop. So let's take a look at ours, and we've got to decide which 1 action that we want to do. So here we've got 1 sun from here, but we do get 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. We have 4 water, and we have got ourselves 5 seedlings. So what we might want to do is just go for the seedlings, because this is one of the victory conditions to get the 12 trees. So let's put ourselves here, and that is our 1 action. Because we drew these 3, we were unable to perform more than the 1 action. What I will show you now, just because we might not see these cards, is if you purchase these from the marketplace and you reveal them, it will cancel out another solitary animal that is revealed after it. So for example, if this had been revealed and then we revealed that one, these 2 would cancel each other out, and it would then allow us to continue. We might end up drawing another solitary animal, but it gives us the chance to carry on drawing our cards. So over to this player here. They stopped with only 2, so we'll just double check. So they've got 4 sun, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 water, and they've got 4 seedlings. So what do they want to go for? So they're going to put out the fires. So that's one of their actions, and then they're going to buy this card here. So that will go to their discard pile. Again, we will move to the check at the end of the game. There are no fires again, so we're doing quite well at the moment, but obviously as the game progresses, we're going to get more powerful cards, which is going to put more fires into the Guardian tree. So we've done that. There's only been one that's been taken, so that goes in there. These cards go to our respective discard piles, and this card is revealed. We then start a new turn, so this will go to this player. Now we'll keep going back and forth like that between 2, 3 or 4 players until one of the victory conditions has been met. So again, those victory conditions are having 12 different types of trees on your game boards, revealing 12 different Lotus symbols on your cards. So let's just give you a reminder of that again. That one there, obviously without the -1, there we go. Revealing 12 of those on your revealed cards, or collecting 12 fire tokens. The person that does do that just needs to announce to everyone else that they have achieved it. Everyone gets that turn to try and obtain as much as they can towards victory conditions or try and complete one. Whoever has the victory condition at the end of that turn wins the game. If there are people with multiple victory condition wins, then it goes down to a points total across all combined victory conditions. So that is Living Forest, a really delightful little game. It looks like there's a lot to it. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of components, but really it's quite simple in the gameplay. You're drawing cards, you're using those cards to perform a variety of actions and gain different effects. It's a great step-up game, I feel. Not quite a gateway game. It's not something that I'd use to introduce people to board gaming, but certainly something that I'd introduce as a next level once they've gotten comfortable with something like, for example, Ticket to Ride. We'd then look at something like this, just a bit more in-depth. But yeah, so that is Living Forest. If you want to give it a go, we do have it in the library. It's a really fun game. Can't recommend it enough. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the boardroom.